Good morning. I'm Peggy Kelly with the Mighty Santa Paula Times, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. Our guest today is Greg Barnes, and he is the director of the City of Santa Paula Parks and Recreation Department, and he's got a lot of varied news for us today, and we appreciate him coming by. Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me this morning.
Good. Good. Could you maybe tell us a little about yourself and how long you've been with the City of Santa Paula?
Sure. So I've been involved in recreation, community service, public service for over 20 years. And I've been with the city of Santa Paula be about going on close. Well, in May, it'll be 2 years. So I started May of
Mhm.
2019. Time's gone by fast, but I got to tell you, I've really enjoyed being part of this community and part of this town. This is going to be a highlight of my career serving this community, and I've just enjoyed every moment of it. So
Well, that's
a lot of exciting things though that have been going on, and hopefully a lot of exciting things in the future.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I've always heard good things about you from the minute you hit the door. And I'm sure you probably heard that I forget to mention what day it is. And today is Thursday, January 21st. And I apologize for not throwing that in at the beginning as I should have. Now, let's talk about, I know with COVID, everything's such a challenge now. Now with Parks and Recreation, what's going on? What's open? What's happening? I know there's been some real shifts in what you can do during the shutdown. Because we
Well,
are in another shutdown.
yeah,
So,
we are in the middle of another stay-at-home order and a shutdown, and unfortunately, we made the decision to close our doors again as far as the community center and the office.
yeah.
We had started some programming up again. We were doing some outdoor classes. We were doing some senior yoga classes, chair yoga classes, and we were doing some youth programming. We really changed our structure and we put a lot of protocols in place to be safe. And you know,
Yeah.
knocking on wood, and just I think with what we were doing, we didn't have any issues. We were even were able to run a successful summer camp, albeit smaller numbers. And that was one of our protocols. Instead of having 30 kids in a class, we would have 8 to 10, all socially distanced. But because of the stay-at-home orders, we made the decision again to close things down, to kind of have our staff work in different locations. So currently, the community center is closed. We're not doing any, obviously, rentals because you can't have any large gatherings. We're not offering any classes, but we are continuing to offer senior nutrition programs. So for our seniors, we have a drive-through here at the center. They can get meals. We're still continuing with our home delivered meal program. And I'm proud to say, since day one, that has never stopped. We have not shut down for one day besides maybe a holiday, but not because of COVID. The staff has continued to serve meals. In fact, we're serving more meals than we ever have. We've partnered with the county partnered with World Central Kitchen, so we're able to deliver our meals. And you know, Peggy, what's really nice, we do deliver frozen meals from time to time to get seniors through the weekends or things. But our staff comes in every day and cooks home cooked meals for seniors, and then we deliver them or we serve them in the drive-through. So we're continuing to do that, and we're also delivering World Central kitchens that are prepared by local restaurants to seniors as well daily.
Yes.
Uh, and our recreation staff is continuing to program, even though we're closed right now. They're cooking up some virtual DIY type classes that we'll be putting out over social media and online. We have, I think yesterday they just sent out on social media that we're going to be doing Valentine candygrams citywide. So if someone wants to send a Valentine gram to somebody else in the city, we're going to put it together and deliver them to them during the stay at home. So the staff is still putting together a lot of programs. It's just going to be virtual here for the next couple of months, or why the stay-at-home order is in place.
You know what I would really appreciate if they would send me a press release about that Valentine program so we can get it in the newspaper. You know, we hit 7,000 households every Wednesday. So, and they could go ahead and any activities, any special activities that you're going or anything like that, make sure I get a press release. I'd really appreciate it because I love that Valentine's idea too. That's really nice.
We'll do that.
You know?
We'll do that. We'll send it
Yeah,
over.
please do. Thank you. Now, COVID, back to COVID, that terrible, nasty thing. But anyway, so they are going to be moving the vaccination site.
We are. In fact, right before I got on with you all this morning, I just got a call. They're setting up the site as we speak, putting up the tents, trailers
At
so that they
Oakland
can
Park.
open.
Mhm.
They anticipate doing some of the finishing setup on Monday. So we're looking at the new site at Harding Park opening mid next week, which will alleviate some of the frustration that's gone on downtown at the next to the oil museum right there as far as where it's been located. When it first opened over there, we were only getting 1 or 2 people at a time coming through because I was
Yes.
checking on it daily, and then right before Thanksgiving, it just exploded with the testing, which is important. The more people that get tested, the quicker I think we can get a handle on this virus and helps the county. But we will be moving it to Harding. We're pretty confident that will help alleviate the traffic that we're seeing happen right in the middle of downtown.
And Harding Park, I mean, everybody in town knows, but there's always a few that don't. And Harding Park is located where?
It's 1400 Harvard Boulevard. So
Yeah,
right next to Boys and Girls Club. They're going to test 6 days a week. The only day they're not going to test is Fridays because that's when food share is there, and it allows us to do some park maintenance on those days. But they will be testing 6 days a week. I'm remiss that I don't know the exact hours, but I think it's going to be about 8, 9 o'clock to about 6 or 7 in the evening is when they'll be doing testing.
It had been, I believe it'd been 10 to 7, but they might expand it. As it is, they're expanding the number of days that they're offering tests when they move to Harding. So that's wonderful. Yeah, that'll be 6 days versus what was it before, 4 days or 5 days? But
yeah, they were doing Thursday through Tuesday. So, or something like that. So they're doing mostly weekends. So this will really extend it, and we'll be able to get many more people in.
Yes, because I've seen those crowds and over there, and of course they'd have to line up, and actually they were lining up on almost a complete square. They'd line up on Main Street and then go around the corner on 10th and then have to turn right on Santa Barbara and then come back down again to get there, right where they'd started practically. And
no, I know it's been very frustrating.
Yeah, but I lucked out. I did it. Good timing.
Yeah, and I think Harding will allow us to get many more vehicles off the street. It's just it's more conducive to doing a testing site. So it'll be good once they move. So we're anticipating it, barring any setback, that Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, they'd be operational.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. Now, do you have an update on the vaccine? I know that they've opened it up to people 75 and older, and what are you hearing about that?
That's correct, and that's the information we have as well. I know they're working on expanding vaccine sites. We're hopeful that they're going to open one here in Santa Paula. I know right now you can go to the county fairgrounds, the Global Community Center, which is up in Thousand Oaks area, and then South Oxnard. They have a vaccine site in South Oxnard. I know that there's been some talk, and I hope that they can get one here in Santa Paula. That'd make it really convenient for this whole valley area. But right now it is for 75 and over, although I believe the state kind of opened it up for 65. I think here locally they feel more comfortable at 75 and older.
75, yes, and people have to make an appointment first, correct? They have to register.
They do. They have to register for that. I do have the state here. I think it's just VenturaCountyRecovers.org. If you go to that website, you can get the information.
That'll take you,
to where you need to register for that.
Ventura.org actually is what it is, Ventura.org.
Yeah.
And of course, this is just for 75 and older, and you have to prove your residency too, as far as that you do live in Ventura County. But
correct.
I know that they're filling up fast, and as of yesterday, I guess appointments, you had told me that appointments were full and they're waiting for more appointments. So, but
I think I believe they're going to release some soon. And I think people have been showing up at the end of the day just to see if there's any extra vaccines, because as you know, they'll expire. And I think they're discouraging people from doing that because they are getting people that don't have appointments just showing up. And so they really are encouraging people to have an appointment. And I did go on the site to kind of see what the process is, and it is pretty easy to make an appointment. So I do encourage people to do that.
Yes, and definitely go through the county, because there were a lot of glitches by some people that went to the state, and it created quite a problem because they didn't just go to the county. Just forget about it. Just go to the county. The county will take care of you. Let's see. And of course, we need more vaccination. We need more vaccine.
Yep.
More filming coming to the downtown.
There is. It will be next week on the 28th. The Mayan filming will be back here. They're going to do a one-day shoot on
Mhm.
Main Street. Um, it's going to be a little smaller production than last time they were in town, but the same idea. You might see them in town on the 27th, starting to set up and board up some businesses and make it look a little bit different downtown. And then on the 29th, they'll be cleaning up.
Uh-huh.
But they will be filming on the 28th. They
Are we
really
gonna be
like
shutting down the streets at all?
there will be a partial closure, I believe, on Main Street right after Davis, up a block or two, but it's going to have less impact than it did last time, my understanding.
Right.
We're still working with them. Some of these things go up to the last minute as far as all the organizing of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're gonna get me the notice, you know, they have to publish the notice in the paper too, to let everybody know that they're filming, you know, as
Yeah.
long as they do that. We haven't seen it since, so who's handling that for you now? Beverly?
Beverly Ruiz is our filming coordinator, so
That's
she's
such a
working
good-
with them. Yeah, and I've seen some emails even as of this morning where they've been sending some information back to us. So it's going to be a lot of what they did last time, just a little bit smaller scale.
And of course, that's a very popular television show. It's called what, Mayans MC Motorcycle or MG?
Yeah,
Mayans MG or
Mayans MC, I believe, and they have such a huge following. Last time they were here, I mean, they had quite a few people that wanted to come out and watch. They are under the same restrictions, but the state's still allowing them to film, so they take COVID precautions and all that when filming. We do encourage people, if they do come out, try and social distance. If you're watching from a street corner, make sure you have a mask on. You know, don't let this event kind of take away, because there's not supposed to be gatherings. But I understand that it's exciting too to get out and see some of this when it's being filmed in town. And it's
for the city. It's
right.
good for the city. It's good for Santa Paula. It's good for our merchants, and it's good for our PR, as it were. You know.
No, it is.
Now, another thing that's always used in films too is the train depot, and I guess the train depot is going to be undergoing some cosmetic surgery. So what's going on there?
So we're finally getting to it. It's going to have a little facelift. We're going to do a little bit of wood repair. We're not doing a whole restoration. The idea isn't to take every board that's a little nicked or something and replace it, but ones that specifically have some heavy damage, like the rails that are around it that need to be replaced. So we're going to have some wood repair done, and then also it'll be repainted. It's all exterior, no interior work. That'll begin February 1st, so here in the next week or so. And it'll take them probably through mid-March to complete it, about 45 days to complete the project. So that'll be exciting. That has been on my bucket list since I got here. I mean, I heard about the train depot on my very first day with Santa Paula. So it's nice to finally get this and know that it's going to get done. So that'll start February 1st.
And they're going to do the red still.
Yeah,
I just love the red.
It'll stay red. It's popular for filming. A lot of the industry wants to use a red depot. We did find the color that it was last painted. So it's probably going to look different than it looks right now because the paint is very faded. But we found the color that it was initially painted. I think it was around 10 years ago or so it was painted last.
In a while.
And so we did find the color, and that'll be the color they'll use to do it. We'll also touch up the signs. The city of the Santa Paula signs and stuff will also be redone that are up on a couple sides of the building. So.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful spot. That whole Railroad Plaza Park is so wonderful, you know. And the depot, of course, is a real gem.
Yes, and we were looking at doing this work before the holidays, and we just ran out of time because we did not want the work to interfere with decorating the depot. You know, we did a lot last year to put up more lights and do some things, and we just felt like we couldn't go without that, especially this holiday. Just add something.
Wonderful. It was wonderful. I want to compliment you and the whole department. It looked wonderful. And I hope once they paint it, maybe they'll just put some more decorative lights back up on the depot. I mean, those lights make they're so comforting and festive. No matter what the season is, it's festive. Now, now you received almost $200,000, and this is for a grant, parks. So let's talk about that.
Through Prop 68, which is, you know, one of the grants. We're applying for the Prop 68 round 4 for the new park. We're going to go out again. You know, we didn't get the grant last time, so we're applying. So it's the same kind of bucket of money, but for a different, it's called per capita. So we didn't really have to be quite frank, we didn't have to do a lot to apply for it, but we are receiving $192,000 from the State Parks and Recreation through that grant. We're going to use it. It has to be used for various park improvements. So we're going to use some of that money. We're replacing the restrooms at Teague Park. We're going through that process now. We have some capital improvement money that was set aside by council for the restroom, but it's not going to cover the entire project. So we're going to use part of the grant for that. And then it'll be used for other various projects as well. We have a Parks and Recreation Commission meeting next week, and I'm going to be kind of asking them for some input of maybe some projects that they think would be, good for the parks. But it is specifically for parks. Obviously, as staff, we have a lot of ideas of things that we could use it on, but we want it to benefit. Another potential project is Mill Park. The parking lot is absolutely in need of replacement. I don't know if the last time, Peggy, you've been through the Mill Park parking lot, but no one wants to drive their car through there. So we need to totally redo that parking lot so that when families go and want to visit the park, they can drive their cars in there without worry and have a nice parking lot to get out and enjoy the new playground that's been put in there and those types of things. So those are some of the projects we're going to probably end up using it, but I think we'll have a little bit more money to do some other additional park improvements as well. So we're excited. It's always nice to get a bucket of money to be able to go do improvements for the community.
Yes, and Santa Paulins really utilize the parks.
Yes. Yeah.
They love their parks, and now still talking about parks. The sports park. Now, is the groundbreaking coming up on that?
So they are. It'll be going out to bid with the developer. They'll be putting it out to bid. We're looking at groundbreaking in May or June. Right now, it's been saying April, May, but I think realistically, it's probably more May, June. They'll do groundbreaking for phase one. Phase one is about, the park's a 37-acre park. So I think phase one is probably around 28, 29 acres of that park. It'll include multiple soccer fields, a softball field, tot lots, and barbecue pavilions and whatnot. The target date is to be done February of 2022 with phase one, which is exciting. That gives us, almost 30 more acres of park space in the city. We're at like 35, 36 acres now, and that's counting every single, piece of land I can possibly include. This actually will give us usable and active park space. Phase two, we don't know when that would be underway because we've got to find funding to complete phase two.
What's in phase two?
Phase two will be a few more a few more softball fields to extend the parking lot around that part of the park. What we're calling a senior-friendly area. It's not senior exclusive, but more of an area where you can sit with some gardens and have some that the seniors requested. That's in phase two, and another athletic field too. Phase one will have a lot of the amenities like the 2 barbecue pavilions, a tot lot. We are looking to build an inclusive tot lot in the park, and so that means it's available to everyone of all levels, disabilities, anyone on the spectrum. It's exactly what it's meant to sound like, an inclusive playground. They're just built a little different design, and we're hoping that we can accomplish that in this park. I'm a big advocate. I don't think any playground should be built that's not an inclusive playground. It might cost a little bit more money, but playgrounds are there for 20 or 30 years, so you might as well make them so that everybody can use them. So we're hoping that can end up being part of it. Right now, it's on that. It's supposed to be part of the design and what it will look like. So excited about that.
Where are the amphitheater? Where is that coming in?
No, you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't. That is going to be part of phase one as well. There will be an amphitheater there. I think it's probably a little smaller in scale than what was anticipated because, as you know, we went to council last night to talk about financing of the sports park and phasing and how that works.
Yes. I got to watch the meeting. I was on deadline.
It'll be probably about 300 to 400 person capacity amphitheater, and it's going to be hill seating. It's not going to have built-in seating and things. There will be some ADA seating closer to it, but most of the seating is just going to be a hillside natural seating complex. But that will be part of phase one as well.
That's going to be a real asset to the community also.
Yes, and a community garden will be right off of that as well. We're going to put a community garden in, and I did have conversations earlier on with public health if they'd be interested in partnering with us, and they are, so that when you put a garden in, you want it to be active and you want it to be programmed. And so they're willing to help us with
Uh-huh.
that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, the community garden. Oh, I think that's just a great idea.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That park, everybody is really looking forward to that, and that's a wonderful thing, you know.
Yes.
Anything, Greg, that we didn't discuss that you'd like to touch on, or anything I should have asked you, or anything I shouldn't have asked you that of course you'd answer, or anything
No,
like
no, I think it was good. I do want to touch on, we went through a probably historical wind event over the last couple of days. It was just a lot. And
awful.
we're still out trying to clean up. We did have some trees come down. The Mill Park, where, we had a tree come down on the apartment complex, which was horrific. We've also had a tree come down yesterday. I was alerted of it, that at Mill Park landed on the restroom Boy Scout hut that's there. And so that building's
Yes.
been red tagged. There's some significant damage that was done. Thankfully, no one was in it or injured, but it did do some damage to the building. So we're working on that. And then we have other trees that you'll see around town at Ebell Park and things that have gone down. So we're working on getting them removed safely and trying to deal with it. So we just ask everyone to bear with us a little bit as we kind of work through that. But it was that wind event was definitely a doozy.
Yeah, it sure was. Even the SCE said it was really something that was completely even unexpected. It was so bad. And I know that the city also has to utilize private contractors to help remove a lot of those trees because they're so massive. You need all sorts of equipment and winches and just all sorts of stuff. So I imagine the cleanup might take some time because trees and damages all over the county.
It is. For two of them, they're having to bring in cranes to remove the tree trunks to get them off of the buildings. So that's a huge undertaking. And but you're right. We're utilizing contractors and things to come in and help us with some of this removal because they're just too much. They're just massive trees. And when you're in the moment, you're in the tunnel vision. Like, how are we? We're trying to get through it here in Santa Paula. But then when I step back at the end of the day, you look, man, this was a county-wide event. Like, this was happening to everybody, and it was just almost incredible what was going on. But proud of Dan mentioned last night with everything that was out, we had no traffic incidents.
They said Ventura County was one of the hardest hit. Ventura County, as far as the winds, and also like Santa Clarita area. They say those were the two actually that got the most damage and were the hardest hit. And had the most outages too, many of which were due to damaged power lines or fall, from trees coming down or just power lines and all that.
Right.
Well, okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. I just want to encourage everyone to kind of be on the lookout on our social media under SP Parks and Rec. We'll have some exciting things coming out for the community. We look forward to getting back open as soon as we can. Closing down is not something that's natural to us. We're about opening and offering programs. So we are biting at the bit to get open and be able to offer programs. So I just ask the community to be patient with us, but also be on the lookout because we're here to serve and we can't wait to get back open and have everyone here.
Oh, and you will. And you guys will look at what the schools went through and with the distance learning, and you guys are going to be more than wonderful doing what you do. You've got a great crew out there. You really do a wonderful team in the Parks and Recs department.
Thank you.
Well, Greg, this was your first visit with us, and I hope it's far from the last. And you take care. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for joining Santa Paula. We appreciate that also. Once again, I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. And I was here today with Greg Barnes, who's the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Santa Paula. You'll be able to watch this broadcast on Spectrum Cable Channel 10, also on KADYTV.com or .net. And if you get it on YouTube, if you go to YouTube and watch, be sure to subscribe. It's free, and it helps bring more broadcasting to you. And everybody, be sure to have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Thanks again, Greg. Bye-bye.